What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing all right today. In this video here, I wanted to go over a Bngo or Bionano genomics stock. We do have some events currently going on, an upcoming event, and some levels to watch on the chart. So let's get right into this one and look at the events coming up and going on now. Now, besides what's going on right now, we do have an event coming up here on February 2, and this is Bionano Genomics Strategy Day. So stick around, I will be covering it. And we do have an event currently going on as I'm uploading, and this is their 2023 symposium, and it's going on from January 23 to January 26. Well, they just announced their final speaker lineup, and here we have January 23, January 24 and all of its speakers, January 25 covering constitutional genetic disease with this list of speakers, and finally January 26 cell bioprocessing. And the symposium is open to everybody, so I will leave you the link down below, so make sure you check it out. But that's not all, we've got more going on here. The 23rd of January, Bionano announced the launch of their next generation versions of their reagent kits and their chip consumable, along with updates to its instrument control and software for the optical genome mapping workflow. And I'll leave this article down below for you, but I'm just going to go over what the CEO said. With these product launches, we are significantly expanding the genome analysis capabilities available to the clinical and translational research communities. We look forward to seeing customers benefit from these solutions in the coming months, which we believe can reduce time to results and make OGM performance even better. We believe these improvements can enable greater detection of SVs or structural variants of all types associated with genetic disease and complex disorders like cancer. And I did want to touch on the new instrument control software here, the Sapphire Chip G3.3, and the new version of Bionano Access. This enables improved throughput and success rates when 2 chips are loaded in parallel, allowing 3 to 6 more samples to be processed per work week. That's definitely a good sign. Bngo is continuing to improve their product, make it more efficient, more effective, and heck, more economical. You're able to do more tests on 1 work week, which is always a good thing. And we have yet more news, and this is the news that Bionano Labs expanded their clinical testing menu with the launch of their first OGM-based lab-developed test, LDT, for hematological malignancies. And reports from this LDT, or lab-developed test, will include a targeted analysis of guidelines-based disease-specific structural variants, as well as the whole genome analysis for the detection of recurrent and novel biomarkers associated with various hematological malignancies. And the Vice President of Laboratory Business at Bionano had this to say: "We are pleased to see the launch of Bionano Labs LDT for hematological malignancies, which can assist patients in their diagnostic and prognostic journey. Our lab's robust LDT validation is designed to provide a comprehensive evaluation of genome-wide structural variants that will allow oncologists to assess the best potential therapies for their malignancy patients." And he says, "We believe the continued development of OGM-based lab-developed tests will allow Bionano Labs to help create a roadmap for how OGM might be leveraged in a clinical setting." So how do you guys feel about all this Bionano news going on? There's definitely a lot of events to look out for, one currently going on, and it's nice to see that they're continuing to improve upon what they already have, giving yet more use cases to Bionano's product. Now, I did want to pull up Bionano on the chart, and you'll see this long-standing resistance, and we just have not been able to break out of it. So that's definitely a negative to look out for. We need to break out of this resistance finally. Now, despite the day of this upload Bngo being down roughly 2-3%, it still is respecting its short-term uptrend. So keep an eye on these yellow lines, this general ascending channel. Watch for a breakout of both the 50 and 200, they are literally right next to each other, and watch for a breakout of this resistance. If we can push 250, it is going to break out. Now, another thing I wanted to note, while yes, it's negative, we haven't been able to break out of this descending resistance, one positive I see here is we have not broken our May 11 low. And I gotta say, after all that time, I'm quite impressed. I personally don't think it will approach its May 11 low again. And if it were to, it would have to nearly lose about 50% of its value. It's definitely possible, but I find it relatively unlikely. And one thing to think about is after it hit this May 11 low, it went on to rally to nearly $4.50. Although to be fair, it has been sort of jumping around, mainly pulling back ever since. But I personally think it really doesn't take much for Bngo to get back in that $4 range and beyond. And it seems like they're constantly making positive developments with their OGM, and we do have scientific communities making use of Bionano's product. I do suspect we will see more adoption worldwide, and as we continue to see more adoption, that will mean more revenue. And speaking of revenue, Their earnings is a ways away, but they are expecting right around $8 million in revenue, which would be a record-breaking quarter. Still not profitable, so be aware of that. Will definitely be a while until they reach profitability. And in this current environment, well, recently, this current environment is actually treating these small caps very well. However, with this macro environment, with raising rates, with companies that do have some debt, with companies that aren't making a profit, Wall Street is very leery to get into these kinds of stocks. However, I do think we're kind of towards the beginning of a turnaround in the market, and typically small caps are the first to start recovering. So far, what we've been seeing is small caps starting to recover. And a lot of these small caps definitely have a long way to go. And I honestly think it'll be important to see how these small caps do when we come up to the FOMC meeting. If these start just absolutely tanking, absolutely selling off as we hear the Fed raise rates one more time, another couple times, depending on what they say in the actual meeting. Do they sound dovish like they're gonna get to an end of these interest rate hikes? Or do they sound hawkish like they want to keep raising rates till there's no tomorrow? I do think the Fed meeting is going to be very important. It's going to be a very volatile time towards the end of this month. And we will see if these small caps can continue upwards or start taking all these gains back that they've recently made. But I personally see the vision in Bngo for the long term, and if we do have a nice pullback, well, I'll welcome it and add some more. This for me isn't just a simple swing trading stock, and I am speculating on the long term of Bngo. The day that they eventually reach profitability and mass adoption. But we will see how all that goes in the coming years. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Definitely appreciate your support. Thanks for watching and have a good day.